Yo, this might be the wildest twist in Drake's career yet, and fans are still trying to wrap their heads around it. Just when we thought Champagne Puppy was untouchable after a decade of chart-topping hits, sold-out arenas, and enough platinum plaques to pave the highway, Jay-Z just came clean. And what he admitted, straight up shocked the internet. After losing that multi-million-dollar lawsuit that had already stirred up so much drama behind the scenes, Drake didn't just stay silent like most celebs would. Nah, he hopped on IG Live. Eyes bloodshot, voice low, energy completely drained, and dropped a bombshell that no one saw coming. "I'm not okay, and it's only getting worse." That's the actual quote. Y'all. Fans in the comments went crazy. Some thought he was trolling. Others said he's crying for help. And what followed? A spiral of chaotic events, from alleged family fallout to leaked texts from industry insiders claiming Drake's been isolating himself in burning bridges left and right. And now even his closest OVO insiders are breaking silence. Was the lawsuit just the beginning of his downfall? Or is there way more to this than we even realized? It all started just days after Drake's lawsuit loss made headlines. The courtroom footage had barely stopped trending on social media before rumors started swirling that something way deeper was going on behind the scenes. Fans thought this was just another money hit, maybe some legal fees, maybe a little embarrassment. Nothing the Six God couldn't bounce back from. But the look in his eyes as he walked out the courtroom, people said he didn't look like a man who lost some cash. He looked like a man who just lost everything. Later that night, Drake's inner circle was completely silent. Not a single post from OVO crew. No stories. No celebratory dinners like we've seen in the past. Even when drama hit and then boom, out of nowhere, he goes live. No filters, no studio lighting, not even a track playing in the background. It was just him sitting in what looked like a cold, empty studio in Toronto. Hoodie on, shadows under his eyes. And he said it plain and quiet, like he was just talking to himself, not the 80K people watching live. "I'm not okay, and it's only getting worse." In the comments, people went from laughing to scared real quick. One fan wrote, "Yo, is Drake really breaking down on live ON?" Another said, "This feels too raw. Where his people at?" He didn't say much more, just kept staring into the camera, took a long breath, and ended the live without another word. The video reposts hit Twitter and TikTok in seconds. Even pages like Academic Seichi's and The Shade Room were posting it with captions like, "Drake sends fans into panic after cryptic message." But the real tea started boiling the next morning. Sources close to the OVO camp told us exclusively that this lawsuit wasn't just about money. Apparently, the plaintiff had receipts, real personal ones, and Drake had been trying to keep them under wraps for over a year. The lawsuit loss meant those documents might go public. And according to one OO assistant who later deactivated her burner account, the files included deeply personal stuff, therapy notes, undisclosed mental health struggles, even a few shocking details about Drake's fractured relationship with his own team. That same day, fans noticed something odd. Drake had unfollowed longtime collaborator Noah 40 Shab. Yes, that 40, the man behind so many of Drake's biggest hits. Fans were confused. Weren't they like brothers? One fan tweeted, "If Drake and 40 falling out, then there's no hope for any of us." A few hours later, 40 posted a single black screen on his story with one word, loyalty. That's it. No tags, no names, but everybody knew who it was aimed at. Then the floodgates opened. 2. OVO members, ones who'd left the label quietly a few years ago, started speaking out. One of them, who we'll call Dre from the Six, went live and claimed he wasn't surprised at all. Drake been spiraling for months. He said, "This lawsuit, that's just the match." But the fire was already lit. Drake claimed that after Drake dropped his last project, he locked himself in his mansion for nearly 2 weeks, barely speaking to anyone, only texting his assistant cryptic messages like, "What's the point anymore?" And this don't feel like it used to. Dre also said Drake stopped trusting people, even accusing some of stealing ideas, leaking music, and trying to sabotage his next move. Now, here's where things really took a left turn. On day 3, after the live, Drake's father, Dennis Graham, posted a now-deleted story on Instagram that had fans completely shook. It was a throwback pic of Drake as a child with a caption, "Wish I could have done more. Sometimes the industry eats its own." The comments went insane. One fan wrote, "Wait, what is going on, FR?" Another said, Did his own dad just give up on him? Sources tell us Drake and his dad haven't spoken in over a month. Despite previously playing up their relationship during album press runs, the tension allegedly started after Dennis gave a surprise interview earlier this year, where he hinted that Drake's fame had isolated him from real people. Insiders say Drake felt blindsided and betrayed, especially since that interview aired during his legal battles. But it wasn't just family drama. Remember Rihanna? Yeah, she popped back up in the story, too. But not in the way you think. A gossip blog claimed that during Drake's downward spiral, he reached out to Rihanna through mutual friends, asking to talk. Not romantically, but emotionally. One source said he just needed someone who knew him before all the fame. Apparently, Rihanna respectfully declined, telling mutuals that some wounds don't need reopening and that fans say might have been the final straw. By the end of the week, Drake was completely silent online. No posts, no likes, no comments. His team wasn't responding to media requests. Even OVO's official account went quiet. Then leaked footage surfaced of Drake outside his Toronto mansion arguing with someone who looked like one of his bodyguards. The audio was muffled, but you could hear him yelling, "You don't get it. I got no one left." They all turned on me. People started asking the real question, how did it get this bad? And the answer might go back farther than any of us thought. An anonymous industry executive who allegedly worked on one of Drake's earlier albums came forward with a voice note sent to a popular hip-hop blog. In it, he said this was always coming. Drake been holding it together with fame and money. But the man behind the curtain, he'd been screaming for help. No one listened. We all just wanted another hit. And just like that, fans began seeing the clues in past interviews, lyrics, even his social media captions. One fan posted a compilation titled Drake Been Telling Us His Not Okay that racked up 2 million views in under 24 hours. The most haunting part, it ended with a slowdown clip of that IG Live Drake staring into the camera, barely blinking, just whispering, "I'm not okay." And that's when the real pressure started building, because while fans were trying to figure out what was happening emotionally, the media was digging deeper. And what they found next might be even more disturbing than the lawsuit itself. Because behind the scenes, a major brand deal just collapsed just days before his courtroom loss. Drake was in final talks to secure one of the biggest brand partnerships of his entire career. Insiders say it was a luxury lifestyle deal with a global fashion house rumored to be worth upwards of $80 million. It was supposed to be announced during Fashion Week. With Drake as the face of their new men's fragrance and streetwear crossover line, a perfect storm of music, fashion, and image control. Music, fashion, and image control. But after the lawsuit hit the headlines and the live video started circulating, the brand pulled out. Not publicly, they just went silent. Drake's legal team reportedly reached out 3 times with no response. Eventually, the brand's executive assistant confirmed it in a quiet email. The partnership had been indefinitely paused due to unforeseen reputational risk. Drake was furious. One of his team members, who's remained anonymous but verified by multiple industry sources, claimed Drake trashed an entire room at Twire at Roop Light Space at NTHF, which are using like a scanner app, and it's like you're going to die, like what, like look at this, like look at this. And we all know I've been exploring that path with third Deleuze Cower with save.words clays with 6 I won't see with sips the OO office when he found out he allegedly smashed 2 plaques and screamed they all just waiting for me to fall one little crack and everybody runs. A former OO creative director who left earlier this year said this isn't the first time Drake snapped under pressure. He's always been paranoid, they said, but now it's different. Now it's like he believes the whole world is plotting on him. But maybe the scariest twist came from inside his own family. Remember the tension with his dad, Dennis Graham? Well, it turns out things got even uglier behind closed doors. One of Drake's cousins, who usually stays quiet online, posted a since deleted tweet that read, "Man been switching up on family for years. Now karma spinning the block." Fans were quick to catch it and started digging into old family interviews. What they found? Troubling patterns, awkward moments where Drake interrupted or corrected relatives mid-inter, tension around money, even subtle shade when asked about his upbringing. One clip from 2019 resurfaced where Dennis said, "I talk to him when I can." And now that when I can is hitting way harder. But family wasn't the only fracture, because next we need to talk about the OO team and the secret betrayal that no one saw coming as Drake's mental state became a topic across social media. An alleged leak from inside OVO's internal chat room surfaced online. Screenshots, which have not been verified but are being widely circulated, show a conversation between two OVO staff members talking about covering up the spiral and how he shouldn't be doing any lives right now. One of them even wrote, "Bro needs a real break, like 6 months, maybe more." What's wild is that fans believe these leaks came from someone inside, possibly on purpose, because in the days after, a fake Instagram account started posting more private details, including audio clips of Drake in what sounds like therapy sessions, venting about feeling used, hollow, and addicted to performance. And here's where the twist comes in. One of the leaked audio clips allegedly features Drake talking about retirement. In the audio, he says, "I thought the love would feel realer. I thought winning would fill something in me, but I'm still just empty. Sometimes I think about walking away." That clip sent shockwaves through the fan base. Imagine Drake just walking away from it all. The artist who gave us over a decade of culture-shifting music. Done. It didn't stop there. The industry response was fast, and not all of it was sympathetic. A few rival rappers started posting shady tweets clearly aimed at Drake. One simply said they always fold when it gets real. Another posted a meme of someone crying in a bathrobe with a caption, "When you lose a lawsuit and your friends." Fans instantly connected the dots, dragging those artists for being insensitive. But let's be real, this is hip-hop and blood in the water always brings out sharks. But then came another curveball that nobody expected. Meek Mill, of all people, suddenly reappeared in the conversation. After years of beef and tension, Meek tweeted, "Mental health ain't a joke, even when it's your ops. Get help before it's too late." Fans were stunned. Was that genuine sympathy? Or was Meek being messy in a poetic way? Some fans applauded him, saying he's matured and knows when to separate rap beef from real-life pain. Others weren't so sure. One fan tweeted, "I smell PR damage control, Meek, just trying to look good." But the internet wasn't done spinning, because just when people thought it couldn't get worse, a new video leaked. This time it was Drake at what looked like a private dinner in Toronto, caught on camera arguing with someone, possibly his manager. The conversation is hard to make out, but one clear sentence from Drake echoed across the internet. "You think I don't know what you said to them behind my back?" Boom. That one line triggered a firestorm. People began speculating that someone in his own management may have contributed to the lawsuit loss, maybe by leaking confidential info or mismanaging the legal team. Suddenly, theories were flying. Sabotage from within, corporate betrayal, even conspiracy theories about labels wanting him out. And then out of nowhere, another major label artist who's been quiet for years dropped a cryptic story that just read that Toronto crown ain't a shiny up close. That was the final spark. Fans flooded Twitter, saying Drake's kingdom was collapsing from the inside out. One fan posted, "We're watching the fall of an empire in real time." Another said, "This is what happens when you build everything on ego and secrets." But the most heartbreaking response came from someone fans never expected. His mother, Sandra Graham, usually private and protective, posted a rare note on her close friend's story. Someone screenshotted it and it read, "Watching your child suffer and knowing you can't fix it. It's the worst pain of all." Fans were stunned. Even the strongest Drake supporters started admitting that this wasn't just music or image anymore. This was something real, something dangerous. Because as the pressure mounted, more footage, more rumors, and more betrayals kept leaking. The media was digging deep now. Podcasts were dissecting every word he ever said. Think pieces were being written about the psychology of Drake. People were questioning if he ever really had a solid circle or if he was just surrounded by yes men waiting for the check and then silence for 3 whole days. Nothing. No new leaks. No posts. No news. Even the blogs were running out of new things to say, until Drake suddenly posted a black and white photo of himself as a teenager standing in front of a microphone. No caption. No tag. Just that dot, and fans lost it. Some said it was a message, his going back to his roots. Others said it was a goodbye. But one thing was clear. Whatever's coming next, it ain't going to be what we expect. Because what happened after that post might be the most shocking twist yet. The black and white photo of teenage Drake in front of a microphone had fans digging deep. One user pointed out it was taken from a behind-the-scenes documentary never officially released, something only a close team member or Drake himself would even have access to. Others noticed that the photo had been cropped in the original. His mother was standing just off to the side watching him. But in this version, she was cut out. People started speculating that the post wasn't just nostalgic, it was symbolic. One tweet went viral. His telling us he's completely alone. Even mom ain't in the frame anymore. It's got over 60 likes in under 6 hours. Something about the vibe of that photo just felt off. Like a goodbye, like a warning. And then came the voicemail posted anonymously to a Reddit thread. A grainy voicemail allegedly left by Drake on someone's bonus started circulating. In it, he can be heard saying, "I keep thinking if I just disappeared, maybe they'd finally stop pulling at me." The voice sounded tired, almost slurred. Fans argued over whether it was real, but voice analysts online claimed it was a 95% match. The phrase "just disappeared" hit everyone in the gut. Suddenly, every stan account, blog, and podcast was on high alert. Theories flew across the internet. Was Drake planning to leave the industry? Go ghost? Some fans begged him to take time off. Others feared something darker. In one TikTok with over 10 million views, a fan says through tears, "This don't feel like a rollout. This feels like a man begging for someone to see his drowning." But then came the most unexpected twist of all. Kanye West. Yes, Kanye entered the chat out of nowhere. They posted a blurry photo of a torn page from a notebook written in Sharpie in all lowercase. It read, "Even the owl cries sometimes. Forgive your enemies because they already hurting." He didn't tag anyone, but fans immediately knew it was about Drake. The owl reference was too specific. Everyone knows that's OVO's logo. And with the way Kanye and Drake had feuded over the years, it was surreal. Was it peace? Was it pity? Some fans called it real growth. Others said it was just Kanye being opportunistic. But the fact that he spoke up when even Drake's own team had gone radio silent made people start wondering who's really looking out for Drake right now. Because right after that post, another video leaked. This one different. Drake was seen outside a small discreet wellness center in British Columbia. No entourage, no cameras, no chains, just him hoodie up walking with a therapist-looking woman. When asked by the person filming if he was okay, Drake didn't say a word. He just raised a hand slightly like he couldn't even find the energy to speak. And that's when fans started putting it all together. The lawsuit, the loss, the UN, the silence, the messages, the breakdowns. Something was seriously wrong. But here's where it takes a dark turn. Remember those leaked OChat messages? Someone anonymous came forward claiming they were the one who leaked them. They posted proof, timestamped screenshots, a staff badge, Kate, and even a short clip of a conference call from months ago where a high-level OVO exec was heard saying he's not stable right now. We either help him or get out of the way. But it turns out they didn't help him. This whistleblower, who we'll call K, alleged that multiple team members knew Drake was in a bad mental state months ago, but kept pushing him to finish the album, fulfill the press obligations, and secure the brand deals. Why? Because millions were riding on it. Allegedly, one tour sponsor even had a clause that required Drake to remain publicly engaged or risk losing the full payout. And when he started pushing back, that's when the spiral began. D said they watched him unravel. They joked about it, said he was being dramatic, called him soft. I couldn't take it anymore. Fans were livid. Hashtags like #ProtectDrake and #Frio trended for 48 hours straight. Petitions were started demanding accountability from his management. Others begged him to fire the whole team. Some even started theorizing that Drake's breakdown wasn't just emotional. It was being used to trigger attention, engagement, and controversy. A PR move taken way too far. But then the ultimate betrayal. A new lawsuit hit the blogs. Not one Drake filed, but against him. From his own former bodyguard, the man who had worked with Drake for nearly 7 years claimed he was wrongfully terminated after raising concerns about unethical practices within the team. In the court documents, he claimed he saw Drake being pressured to perform under duress, coerced into image-based decisions, and emotionally manipulated into staying quiet, and when he tried to intervene, he was fired. This lawsuit exposed everything. It confirmed what fans were fearing, that people around Drake weren't protecting him. They were exploiting him. One of the most disturbing allegations was that Drake had twice tried to step away quietly, once after the passing of Virgil Abloh and again earlier this year. But both times his team allegedly shut it down, citing damage to brand value. The court documents even listed names, high-level names, and fans. They went nuclear. People who once admired the flawless OVO image started turning on the empire. Influencers pulled out of OVO events. Fan pages turned into watchdog accounts. Even former collaborators posted cryptic messages like, You can't heal in a place that made you sick. And in the middle of all this, Drake vanished. No stories, no sightings, no comments, nothing. Rumors flew that he checked into a private facility in Switzerland. Others said he was in Jamaica with a spiritual healer. One source claimed he was back in Toronto under full lockdown, being protected from himself. No one knew for sure until 2 weeks later. A mysterious message appeared on OVO's official page. A single sentence, "He's still here." No name, no photo, just those 3 words. And the comments exploded. Is he okay? Is this really him? Don't play with our emotions like this. But the truth is nobody knows who posted it. OVO hasn't responded to press, and Drake's still silent. That will change everything we thought we knew after the mysterious message appeared on the OVO page. He's still here. Fans were in full meltdown mode. Some thought it meant Drake was okay and just laying low. Others feared it was a cryptic cry for help posted by someone on his behalf. It wasn't signed, wasn't accompanied by a photo, didn't appear on any of Drake's personal accounts. Then boom. All over related pages went completely dark. Profile pictures vanished. Bias wiped. Every recent post deleted. And that's when fans knew something major was about to happen. 3 days later, Greg finally broke his silence. But it wasn't on Instagram. It wasn't on Twitter. It wasn't even through a press release. It was a surprise drop on a hidden page on SoundCloud. Just a single track titled November's Ghost. No promotion, no cover art, no tags. But the moment it hit the internet, the world stopped. The track raw, stripped down, just a piano loop and Drake's voice. No auto-tune, no beat drop, just him pouring out everything. Double quotes. I gave them everything and they wanted more. The moment I bled, they ran for the door. Fans were stunned. The song wasn't just a comeback. It was a confessional, a deep emotional unraveling of everything he'd been through in the last few months. The lyrics painted a picture of betrayal, exhaustion, and a man on the edge of letting go. Thought I had a team quasi-headless. Once the payment's late, they all call police. Then came the bar that broke the internet. Can't trust the mirror. Can't trust the brothers. Can't trust the money. Can't trust the shows. Can't trust the lawyers. Can't trust the label. Can't even trust mama when love turns. Unstable. Twitter exploded. Drake just admitted he didn't trust anyone. Not his crew. Not his family. Not even himself. Celebrities reacted instantly. Some were supportive. J. Cole tweeted, "Praying for my brother." Others were more cautious. One R&B singer tweeted, "This don't sound like art. This sound like a goodbye letter." But before fans could process the track, leaked surveillance footage hit the internet. This was the moment everything turned. The footage showed a private OVO meeting reportedly from 2 weeks before the lawsuit loss, where Drake can be seen arguing with his top manager and 2 other team members. Even Drake's harshest critics were demanding he'd walk away from the industry for his own survival. But the wildest moment was still to come 2 nights after the song dropped. A blurry live video started making the rounds on TikTok. It showed a man who looked exactly like Drake. Same build, same beard, same energy, standing alone at a small rooftop in downtown Toronto talking to what appeared to be a cameraman. The audio is faint, but one part is crystal clear. This the last time they get to own my pain. Next time it's on my terms. Fans took it as confirmation. Drake was taking back control, walking away from the labels, the toxic management, maybe even OVO altogether. Within minutes, stan pages were posting Drake is going independent and OVO is dead theories. Then boom, another bombshell. Drake's bio on Instagram changed. Just one sentence. This chapter is closed. The page still had no profile pic, no posts, no stories, just that line. People were shook. Was he quitting music? Going ghost forever? Was November's Ghost really a farewell track? But then Drake's mother, Sandra Graham, broke her silence in a heartfelt post that stunned fans. She shared a childhood photo of Drake with the caption, "You are more than what they took from you. Whatever comes next, know that I am proud. I love you forever, Aubrey." Emotions ran high across the fan base. People were crying in comment sections. Creators made videos reflecting on his legacy. Even major news outlets picked up the story, calling it a tragic unraveling of one of music's most iconic stars. But just when it seemed like it was all over, another SoundCloud track appeared titled simply Still the Beat. Ominous, haunting, but confident. And in the first 15 seconds, Drake spoke one line that flipped the story on its head. They thought I was gone. I just needed to reset. He wasn't quitting. He wasn't running. He was rebuilding. The rest of the track was a cold, calculated message. No crying, no desperation, just clarity. Drake called out the betrayals without naming names. He spoke about cutting ties, starting over, and doing things solo. I fed wolves. They bit my hand. Now I hunt alone with no set plan. Fans felt the shift instantly. This wasn't broken Drake. This was war-ready Drake. This was comeback energy, and the internet lit up. Memes turned to hype. Timelines flipped from mourning to celebration. Stand pages changed their bias from his still here to his coming back for everything. And while no official statement has come from OVO or Drake's label, one thing is clear. He's not done. He just burned the whole house down. And now he's building something new. And just like that, the man who once ruled the charts, owned every headline, and moved culture with a single bar is now standing at a crossroads. Is this the rebirth of Drake? Or the quiet beginning of a permanent goodbye? Because after the lawsuits, the betrayal, the silence, and the pain, he didn't just survive. He sent a message. Not just to his fans, not just to the industry, but to everyone who ever tried to break him from the inside. They thought I was gone. I just needed to reset. Whether he's walking away from the machine or stepping back in with fire in his veins, one thing is clear. Drake's no longer protecting his peace quietly. He's reclaiming it. But now we want to hear from you. He's reclaiming it. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think this was all part of a rollout? A master plan to shed the old and step into a new era? Or is this the realest breakdown we've ever seen in hip-hop and we're just lucky he survived it? Was the OVO empire built too high to last? Or is this just chapter 1 of Drake 2.0? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading everything. Make sure you smash that like button if this story had you glued to the screen. And don't forget to subscribe for more explosive breakdowns like this. Because in the rap world, the truth is never just the truth. It's always layered, always twisted, and always messy. This is Candidly Cassie, when no beat gets skipped and no secret stays hidden. We'll see y'all in the next one. Stay watching, stay woke, and stay ready because the next chapter might drop at midnight.